Hello friends, I'm Varun Vohra and welcome to my channel IT with Varun Vohra to master the fundamentals and concepts not available in any book or over the web. Most trusted channel and resource to build or advance your career in IT audit, IT security, IT SOX, IT risk, and IT compliance. Friends, as part of our ITGC journey, I already have over 125 videos related to various control areas across application, server, and database layers with a new video every week on my channel. So please leverage them to understand these concepts thoroughly and build or advance your career. Friends, as the volume is growing, I've seen a few questions on topics which I had already covered in the past, which made me think of creating this interactive video to help you all navigate and search through my channel and playlist and help you understand what is where. So let's start. Once you're on the channel homepage, which you can see on the screen here, you will see all these different tabs. Click on playlist, which will list all the playlists I have created for organizing the videos based on the ITGC category and control areas. So let us go through each of the playlists one by one to see what is in there, and let's start from the bottom. So the first one on this list is the privilege access playlist under logical access ITGC category. As you can see here, there are privilege access testing videos related to Windows Server, application layer, Linux Unix server, SQL database, Oracle database, and then there are some additional videos related to common themes and responses for privilege access, video related to privilege accounts, video related to system or non-person accounts, video related to PAM solution or privilege account management, and then also the topic related to walkthrough questions is covered. Let's go back to the channel playlist page. The next playlist is terminations, again under logical access ITGC category. Here the videos for terminations testing are related to application, Windows Server, Linux Unix server, Oracle database, and SQL database. Also there are additional videos related to post-termination activity, the next steps in case there are deficiencies which will be getting covered under this post-termination activity video. Also the mitigating or compensating controls once deficiencies are identified in the terminations access testing. Also covering the key walkthrough questions related to terminations control area. Going back to the channel playlist page, the next one is new users or account provisioning control area, again under logical access ITGC category. Here there are videos related to new user or account provisioning testing for application, Windows Server, Linux Unix server, Oracle database, and SQL database. Also there is a specific video around segregation of duties or SOD for the new user control area, and then video related to the deficiencies or findings in terms of next steps once you identify deficiency or finding in new user testing. Also the mitigating or compensating controls related to new user testing, and then a dedicated new user or account provisioning question related to creation date and population, and finally the walkthrough questions related to new user or account provisioning control area. Going back to the playlist page, the next playlist is user recertification or account access review. Again, videos will be covering the testing related to user recertification and account access review area for application layer, Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database, and SQL database. There are videos related to the next steps in terms of deficiencies or findings for user recertification or account access review control area, and also the mitigating or compensating controls for the specific control area. Going back to the playlist page, next one is password settings or authentication control area, again under logical access ITGC category. So there are videos related to how to test password settings or authentication for application layer, Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database, and SQL database. Also, there are some additional videos related to some viewer questions around the password settings control area, along with the next steps when findings or deficiencies are identified in password settings testing, and the mitigating or compensating controls related to password settings or authentication control area once there are deficiencies. Going back to the playlist page, the next one is the fundamentals or foundational concepts related to ITGC, IT risk, IT audit, IT security, IT SOX, or IT compliance area. These are very comprehensive videos related to a number of topics which will help you build the foundation of the specific domain. Some of the videos which you'll see in this playlist are the overall IT general control concept, where I talk about the 4 ITGC categories and how they are related to SOX and risk-based areas. What exactly is IT risk? What in general we do mean by risk? The 3 lines of defense model, the difference between IT audit and IT compliance, overview of the system layer or 3-layer architecture, the sampling methodology and approach which is typically used in ITGC testing, the design and operating effectiveness related area. What is the difference between the design and operating effectiveness issue or finding? Another completeness and accuracy related video, a dedicated video on a career in IT risk audit and compliance area. Again, 3 lines of defense related video from a independence lens perspective. Completeness and accuracy related video on the model of trust but verify. Walkthrough and work paper related videos, along with the risk control metrics or RCM. Also, there are videos on the request list, reasonable versus absolute assurance concepts, point in time versus period of time concept, difference between full population versus sample testing, next steps when you encounter failed samples, difference between preventive, detective, and corrective controls, a very important concept. Also, there are videos related to difference between finding, observation, and deficiency. Also, videos covering concepts like substantive testing, along with dedicated questions on completeness and accuracy, difference between internal versus external audit, and also highlighting key career opportunities in this domain, and finally the difference between policy, standard, guideline and procedure. So all of these comprehensive list of different topics are under the foundational concepts or fundamentals playlist on the channel, which will help you build a sound foundation of the IT risk, control, audit and compliance area. Going back to the playlist page, the next playlist is the second ITGC category, which is change management. Here, this playlist includes videos related to change management testing for application, Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database, a viewer question around change management, which is specific to the change log, the testing related to emergency changes, which is a very specific area and a different process than the regular changes. There's a dedicated video on that as well. Next steps once deficiencies or findings are identified as part of change management testing, along with the mitigating or compensating controls once deficiencies are identified in change management. Going back to the playlist page, next one is the vulnerability management area under information security ITGC category, and there are videos related to vulnerability management testing for Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database and SQL database. Also, there are videos on the next steps once deficiencies or findings are identified as part of vulnerability management testing, along with the mitigating or compensating controls once you identify gaps in vulnerability management testing. There is also a video on different types of vulnerabilities. Going back to the playlist, the next playlist is related to patch management under information security ITGC category. Again, there are videos related to patch management testing for Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database and SQL database. Also, there is a video on the difference between the vulnerability management and patch management, along with the next steps once deficiencies or findings are identified as part of patch management testing, and the mitigating controls or compensating controls once deficiencies are identified in patch management testing. That covers the patch management control area under information security ITGC category. Going back to the playlist, next one is the intrusion detection control area under information security ITGC category. There are videos related to intrusion detection testing for Windows Server, Linux Unix Server, Oracle database and SQL database. There is also a dedicated video on the concept SIM, which is a very important concept for the specific control area, and then video related to the next steps in terms of deficiencies or findings once they are identified in the intrusion detection control area. And this control area is ongoing. The next one in line will be the mitigating or compensating controls once deficiencies are identified for intrusion detection testing. Going back to the playlist page, the last in the playlist side or page is the IT application control or ITAC in short, or automated control as well. There is a dedicated video on testing related to IT application controls or automated controls. I'll go back to the home page here. One more important point to note here, friends, is this specific search box will help you search any topic or video on the channel. So you just type in the topic name and click search, and it will list all the key videos related to that specific topic. So like you can see here, I searched for privilege access area. You can see all the videos on the channel related to this specific topic. So this way you can search any topic of your interest and the videos from the channel will pop up. So friends, I hope the video helped to understand what is where on the channel and how to navigate and search through the channel and playlist. Keep watching. Thank you and see you next time. Till then, bye.